You aren't struggling because you don't make enough money. You are struggling because you have built a high-precision machine designed to return you to zero. You are a functioning adult who has accidentally agreed to be financially strangled in slow motion. Every time you feel a surge of progress, a raise, a tax refund, a successful side project, your internal thermostat kicks in. It detects that you are too warm, too comfortable, and it immediately begins to vent that wealth until you are back in the cold, familiar air of the struggle. Welcome to CashCraft Daily. Today, we aren't talking about budgets or side hustles. We are deconstructing the reset routine, the hidden behavioral loop that ensures that no matter how much you earn, your life never actually changes. The illusion of progress most people living the reset routine don't feel like they're failing. They feel like they are leveling up. You reach what we call the competence plateau. This is the level where you are good at surviving, but you are not yet good at building. At this stage, your salary feels like a ceiling dressed up as a floor. You get a $6,000 raise, and for approximately one afternoon, you feel rich. You think, this is it. This is the margin I needed. But then, the maintenance ghosts arrive. These are the ongoing costs in money, time, and mental energy that haunt every new thing you bring into your life. You don't buy a flashy car, that's too obvious. Instead, you upgrade your environment. You buy a professional-grade espresso station for your kitchen, or a high-end ergonomic workstation because it's for my health. Individually, these choices feel like investments. Collectively, they are a consumption cascade. Your brain calls it I deserve this, but economists call it a reset. You have moved your goalposts forward at the exact same speed as your income. You are walking faster, but the treadmill is keeping you in the exact same spot in the room. This is the era of the fake rich, where people master the appearance of success while building absolutely nothing underneath. The reset routine, the step-by-step loop, the reset routine, is a 4-stage psychological trap that repeats every 12 to 18 months. It works like this. Stage 1, the pressure cooker. You feel the weight of your current balance. You are doing the Sunday night math, running numbers in the dark, trying to figure out how to get ahead. This stress creates a chronic vigilance in your nervous system. Stage 2, the release valve. A windfall occurs, a bonus hits, a debt is finally paid off. Suddenly, the pressure drops. You reach a phantom peak. Stage 3, the internal permission. Because the pressure is gone, your brain stops playing defense. You tell yourself that the crisis is over. You reward your hard work by inviting a new liability into your life, a new hobby, a slightly better apartment, or a buy now pay later commitment for a piece of tech you've been eyeing. Stage 4, the gravity reset. The new lifestyle becomes your new minimum. Your fixed costs have expanded. The maintenance ghosts begin to drain your new income. Within 3 months, you are lying in bed at 11:47 p.m. doing the exact same math you were doing before the raise. The cycle has reset. You are back at zero, but with more expensive stuff surrounding you. Scenario 1. The expert trap lets look at this in a highly specific way. Marcus. Marcus is 31 and makes $85,000 as a freelance consultant. He finally saves him first $10,000. This should be him firewall, the milestone that changes him relationship with risk. But Marcus is a perfectionist. He decides that to get to the next level, he needs the gear of a top-tier executive. He spends $2,400 on a specialized software suite and $1,500 on a designer power wardrobe. He justifies this as investing in him brand. What Marcus has actually done is trigger the Diderot effect. Now that he has the high-end software, him 3-year-old laptop feels slow. Now that he has the power wardrobe, him apartment feels like a dorm room when he takes video calls. He isn't buying these things for the utility, he is buying a costume for success that hasn't actually arrived yet. By the end of the quarter, Marcus's $10,000 is gone. He has the gear, but he no longer has the optionality, the ability to say no to a toxic client or to take a month off to rest. He has reset her finances back to survival mode to fund a spectacle that no one else is even watching. Scenario 2, the safety leak Now consider Julian. Julian earns $120,000 and has finally stabilized his life. He has no credit card debt. He feels fine. But Julian has a reset routine triggered by identity psychology. Julian grew up in a household where there was never enough. Because of this, his brain is neurologically optimized for friction. When his bank account gets too high, crossing say $30,000, he starts to feel unnatural. He feels like a fossil or an outlier in his own life. Subconsciously, Julian creates a safety leak. He decides that now is the perfect time to finally help out a family member with a $5,000 loan he knows they won't repay. Or he decides to invest $8,000 into a friend's speculative, get-rich-quick opportunity. Julian tells himself he is being generous or taking a swing. The reality is that Julian is performing an expressive suppression of his own wealth. He is intentionally leaking money because the weight of the bridge, the transition from being a struggler to a builder, is too heavy for him to carry. He resets his balance to a lower number because $15,000 feels safer and more relatable to his identity than $30,000. The psychological trigger, cortisol habituation, why do we do this? It's called cortisol habituation. For years, you have lived with the permanent background hum of being responsible for too many things. Your brain has recategorized stress as the baseline. You don't actually know how to function without the pressure of a looming bill or a tight month. When you have boring wealth, money sitting quietly in an index fund, not being spent on logos or one-upping your friends, your brain doesn't get a dopamine hit. It feels like sensory deprivation. You feel older than you are because you are carrying the weight of two different operating systems: the analog system that values hard work and struggle, and the digital system that requires you to be a passenger in a car driven by algorithms. You repeat the loop because relief feels better than peace. Relief is the high you get when you pay off a card. Peace is the silence of having no debt and a $50,000 balance. Most people are addicted to the relief of solving a crisis, so they subconsciously ensure a new crisis is always around the corner. Escalation, the lost years, the danger of the reset routine isn't the $1,500 you spent on a weekend. It is the lost years. If you are 22 and redirect just $187 a month into a building system, the math creates a $1 million gap by the time you are 40. But if you are in the reset routine, you aren't just losing the $187. You are losing the compounding power of your time. Path A, the builder, and Path B, the spender, start with the same paycheck. But Path B is financially indentured. Every career move, every risk, and every dream is filtered through the question, can I still cover my fixed costs? When you reset your finances, you are signing a 30-year employment contract with the machine. You aren't losing money, you are losing optionality. The ability to walk away from a job that is destroying your mental health. You are trading your 40s and 50s for a dopamine hit on a Saturday afternoon in your 20s. The pattern break, reframing the machine breaking the reset routine, requires an identity shift, not a budget. You have to stop seeing yourself as someone who manages money and start seeing yourself as someone who builds architecture. 1. Define enough first. The machine wants you to spend unconsciously. You must decide in advance what kind of home is sufficient and what kind of car meets your needs. If you don't have a finish line, you are running an endless race where lifestyle expansion always outpaces income growth. 2. Measure wealth by distance, not balance. Don't look at the $10,000 in your account as money to spend. Look at it as distance from a crisis. That $10,000 is 5 months of breathing room. If you spend it, you aren't losing dollars, you are losing 150 days of freedom. 3. Invert the sequence. Most people pay bills, spend, and then save what is left. This guarantees a reset. You must invert. Treat your investments as a mandatory bill that leaves your account the morning after payday. If you never see the money, you cannot feel rich for 48 hours and trigger the panic cycle. 4. the replacement test. Look at every item in your life and ask, if this disappeared today, would I spend my own hard-earned cash to replace it? If the answer is no, you are carrying maintenance ghosts that are haunting your net worth. Closing. The system doesn't ask if you're ready or if the trade is fair. It opens every morning and takes whoever shows up. You can continue to be the reliable producer who always has a shadow function of burnout. You can continue to do the Sunday night math until you are 66 years old. But understand this, the gap between a life of total freedom and a life of permanent stress is not a six-figure salary. It is simply learning to stop adding more. It is not how much you earn that is keeping you stuck. It is the same routine you keep repeating over and over again. I'm CashCraft Daily. We'll see you in the next one. And if this hit home, drop a like and subscribe to the channel because we're just getting started, and trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.